So, looking back from a year ago around today is probably when I really went all in with this, what I was doing with this business. And throughout this year, it's taught me so much more about myself, my life, who I was, who I wanted to be, skills, talent, everything, right? I've learned so much more this year than I ever have in any other year. And I cringe at myself looking back a year ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, because there's certain things that I could have done and there's certain actions that I could have taken that would have put me in a different position. But I'm thankful that it happened, because if it didn't, then I wouldn't have learned that lesson, right? I wouldn't have learned that that's how it's going to be, or that's how it works. That's not how it's going to be, but that's how it works. And throughout this whole journey, right, I really just got kicked in the nuts for an entire year. Like, straight up an entire year, we're just getting kicked in the nuts. And I'm still getting kicked in the nuts, like, the entire time. That's all I'm just really doing, is we win, like, 3% of the time, we lose 97% of the time. But we're learning 97% of the time. So how was that bad, right? How is that bad? It's not. But it just takes a little bit longer than you think, right? It really does. If you want to go huge, right? If you want to do something that's, not too complicated, you don't need a lot of skills for it, and that's completely fine, but it's going to happen quicker, right? But if you want to do something massive and super cool and super long term, then it'll take a little bit longer, right? It really will, especially nowadays with, creating a business, more so online. It is a lot harder than people think. It really is. It's not this, simple, let me just sell AI generated videos. You know what I'm saying? Like, even that isn't necessarily like the easiest thing in the world to do, right? It's not hard, but it's not, it's not like 1 + 1, really. And the whole marketing scheme of all these people who are doing that is to make it sound easy, right? It's to make it sound like it took them like 2 days to make $1 million. But in reality, it took them years, maybe a couple years, to get and find what they wanted to do. So take that with a grain of salt. It's not this, pretty journey. It's not this, it happened overnight. Like, no, it just doesn't work like that. So keep that in mind.